Hi everybody. So this is gonna be kind of a different episode today. This is this is different. So this is not what we normally do here at Hazen Takes on the World, and this is gonna be a lot of stuff that I don't really like to get into. I don't really like to live online and have my personal life out there. Um, but I figured if I don't do this now, there might not be any good time to do it. And this episode was a request by my good friend Will. Will, uh, we know you requested this as a joke, as like an April Fool's Day joke, a couple years ago, but well, here we are. Um, so ultimately, this video is going up today, and it covers the topic of divorce. Now, I'm not going to get into all the details of my divorce, or anything like that, or anything about that particularly, but I'm going to give a little insight on the topic of divorce. So, um, bear with me. This one's going to be a little bit different. Might be some cuts, might be some pauses, might be some hard times. Who knows? Um, it was a year ago today, actually, that my wife, my ex-wife now, who you all know, you saw as we dated, as she was my girlfriend, as she was my fiance. You saw our wedding. She had decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. So that was a year ago today. Now, that being the main topic, I'm not getting into the, the the details or anything like that, and I'm not here to badmouth anybody or anything like that. First off and foremost, I want to say that this is not a um, it's not a throw shade video or anything like that. Sorry. But it is something that I've gone through, and like I said, did the wedding video. Might as well do the divorce video because, like I said, Will, you requested it. This is all your fault. Um, so anyways, yes, I'm divorced now, and I've had people ask on online and things like that, little bits of details of certain things, and this can maybe shed some light on, oh, you see a different background or a different, it looks like I'm filming somewhere else. It is because I am. I do not live where I used to live. Pardon me. I moved back in August, and this is for the most part what a lot of people have been seeing over the past few months. But wanted to get into a couple things. Divorce is hard. The I mean, as it has different sides ultimately, and um, I'm sure for some people it's easy and it's a perfect escape. And if you're in a terrible marriage, I would say it makes sense. But uh, personally, for myself, I wasn't one that was wanting um, divorce or a change, particularly. But as we take on the world, you have to take on what is given to you and what's thrown at you. And sometimes that is what it is. So I would like to say that if you're struggling with, I mean, not even just a divorce, with a bad breakup. I have friends who have dated people for decades, and the relationship falls apart. Things like that. I've had people that I've known for be married for a long time and get divorced. Um, it's always a hard topic. It's You're not alone, and trust me, I know that it feels like you are, and no one actually knows what you're going through. They can say they can. I can tell you right now that I know what you're going through. But I don't, because I'm not in your shoes. No one's been in mine. And I think the hardest thing to deal with is trying to play that buffer of you are fine, or you're not fine, or you have to just be fine because life goes on. And ultimately, this may be the most catastrophic thing in your life. Sorry. Um, there's going to be a lot of ums in this one probably for all you haters out there. But this may be the most catastrophic thing to ever happen in your life. But ultimately, the rest of the world is not dealing with it. So it can't be at the forefront of things. And it's understandable that it can be for a while. There's always people there to talk to. Sometimes you just gotta think about how much you talk. And like that's something I never tried to really have my life revolve around what I was going through with my divorce. No, ultimately it will. I'm probably gonna say ultimately a lot too because I just realized I said it 1,000 times already. Um, a big part of it is moving on. You may not ever want to. You may not see how you can, and that's okay. That's the big part of my message. It's okay to feel how you feel. It's okay to feel hurt, abandoned, lied to, whatever the situation of whatever situation you're going through. It's okay. It's okay to feel the way you are. And you can't have somebody tell you how you're supposed to feel. A lot of what I've done is just try not to deal like not to not deal with it, but like not have it be my life. Um, my relationship and my marriage was my life, and that I think that's good. I think you should put a lot into it, but that's over, and you can't continue putting time into something that is over. And you have to put time into what is current, what is going on with you, because now you'll notice you have a lot more time. I've always been a guy who loves hobbies, as you can tell. I have a video production degree. I studied multimedia science, and so that's why I do YouTube. You know, sometimes I do it frequently, sometimes I do it infrequently, but I also have a job that I am at a lot. It's a very demanding. I'm in management, and it takes up 50-ish hours of my week, and then there's just the time of relaxing and trying to be a normal person. So that's where it just gets into, I don't want to spend the time that I have focused on something bad. It's it's okay to take time to focus on it though. You can't avoid it. Something you're going through, and something in your past that happened. I'm gonna say a lot of stuff here, and I'm hoping this is unscripted. This is not, none of my videos are ever scripted. Um, I'm just hoping I can get a coherent process out that can maybe help someone. Uh, like I said, I have lots of hobbies. I'm a collector. I um, I love movies. I love board games, things like that. I try to focus on doing that stuff. And something that through this process has been great and has reassured me, I have some excellent friends. Great people that I love to surround myself with that sadly I don't get to as much as I'd like to. But spending time with the people that care about you and want to be there, family, things like that. It's great to reevaluate that aspect of your life. Some of the hard parts of divorce, besides it sucks, um, there's cost. There's losing stuff that is half yours. There's having to move, things like that. The time that you put into it, it's very hard. The worst, the worst parts are losing your best friend, a person that was part of you and that you planned on never having to not be away from. That's the hard part. That's the worst part of it. Another worst part is, I know you guys know her also, but little Chloe, my dog, unfortunately, I did not get custody of Chloe in the divorce. So losing my dog too, that's a hard one. So those are some of the worst parts of it. And people like to tell you, oh, there's other fish in the sea. You can get another dog. You're young. You can get married again. Those are all BS. Quite frankly, that's accurate, but that's like telling someone that. I mean, God forbid. I'm not trying to make a good comparison here, but having someone have their friend pass away and be like, well, you got other friends. Like it doesn't, it's like, really? That's your answer? And I think it's because nobody has an answer. There is no good answer. There's um people like to say time heals all wounds. Yeah, but some things are gonna always hurt. Um, and I think that goes to show how much they mattered. Um, like I said, I don't dwell on things. It's not something that I want to sit and have take up my day. Um, you need to have a healthy respect for what happened. Now, um, again, some things that I've tried to do because of it, and it's a lot of times you find things kind of shock or scar you into change because you desperately need change. Um, for those of you that's been watching for a long time, I don't look exactly the same. Grew a beard. I'm growing my hair out. Um, that's all. That's just been something. I wanted change. I needed something different. I diet fairly hard now. I was getting a little too big for myself. All those fast food reviews I was doing for you guys. Um, but between those and the beer reviews, I was getting a little too big for my liking. So, um, I get very active in keto, and intermittent fasting have been two great things for me. And there's things that I can track and I can work on to build myself better. And they've worked. I'm well on my way to being where I'd like to be physically. There's always room for improvement, but there's always room to pat yourself on the back when you've tried to do something and succeeded at it, especially when you're trying to do something to better yourself because you've been through a hard time and you need change. I know I'm going to leave a lot of things out in this. I know I've been talking for almost 20 minutes and I feel like I'm talking in circles. But like I said, I'm not trying to get into the details of my divorce or situations or talk bad or get into anything about what happened. But I do want to talk about it, the emotional factors, and that it's okay to have those emotional factors. There's going to be, if there is no emotional response, then your marriage, your relationship probably never really mattered to you, and maybe that's why you're in a divorce. Um, there's plenty of things that you can do in response to this. There's online counseling. There's in-person counseling. I know, everybody tries to stay away from each other nowadays, which I think is great sometimes. But seeing a counselor, I think it's a good thing. Um, to have a third party to go over what you've gone through. I don't know. I don't like to talk faith on here that much, but I have a strong faith. Through this, it was tested, and it has been tested, and it's always tested because um, it's something I've struggled with in the past year because of the divorce. But I think it's something it's good to fall into your faith. I've noticed in the times in the past year where I've fallen in it more, it's been better times than when I've strayed away. Um, I want to probably wrap up here by saying you may feel like you are completely alone or that nobody knows what you're going through. And to a point, that's true. But you're not alone. And everyone has hard times. And together, you can make it. We can make it. There's a lot that relying on other people can help you, and that's what my good friend Ryan. I've talked about him. I've known him for, oh gosh, now showing age, almost 20 years. You know, he's one of my best friends. We live together, and having him have my back for a long time has been a big thing, big deal in my life. I've talked Mitch, my good friend over at Mitch Reviews Everything. He's been one of my best friends for also 20 years. You know, there's not much time goes by that we don't talk for hours. You all know Rain, my good friend here that helps out on the channel. Rain and I were friends, and I believe we got a lot closer during my divorce because he was someone I was calling every night to talk to, just because you know, when there's a lot of silence, and silence sometimes sucks. So calling friends like that. I have plenty of other friends. I'm not going to sit and list and go off on about that stuff, but I'm just saying that is something that can help. And I hope this video helps. I know it's kind of silly and ridiculous, but you never know what's gonna change and what's gonna affect you. When I started this silly little channel out a few years ago, I had a big supporter, and that has changed. And that I hope that you guys support me. I support you. If you have any questions, I don't really want to get into everything, like I said, but leave it in the comments section below. We can talk, and I'm always here for you guys. Other than that, Will, I hope you liked the episode. I hope you're still watching here, but you guys have a great day. Better days are to come, and things will be okay. Together, we can take on the world.